The life finder keeps Maya up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of, no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal, though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill.
Welcome everybody to the stream. Here we are, Lionspeed versus Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. This is the second attempt at this cast. It got rescheduled to this day. Bear with me a little bit. I am quite sick today. I've not been feeling well. But I'm going to try to shoulder on through and do the cast that I signed up for. And we're going to have a lot of fun. Anyways, this we do have our map choices and bans here. Lionspeed banned BOE and Infernal Shrines, and Once Bitten Thrice Pie took out Cursed Hollow and Hours of Doom. So we'll be going to Tomb of the Spider Queen for the first game of the night. So I think everybody's in lobby and about ready to go. I was waiting to hit the button basically for 8 o'clock. 7, I guess, for if you're Pacific, and 10 if you're Eastern. We're just going to get right into it. Deal with that. We are. See what we're gonna get for picks and bans here in the first match of the night. First game of the match. Lionspeed actually already won their first set earlier against Team Happy Cloud. Div is going to be the first ban. Definitely, if anyone plays that hero on the enemy team side on a map like Tomb of the Spider Queen, you probably want to get rid of it. So, not a surprise that that's the ban. Johanna being removed. One of the solid frontliners, especially if it's a consistent pick for the enemy team. You want to probably get rid of it. Things like Zeratul and Anna have somewhat dropped out of the first ban area. I think they're still viable, strong picks, but maybe not as frightening. And there I'm being proven wrong. Anna going to be banned out in the second ban slot for Once Bitten Thrice Pie. Diablo. So 2 major frontliners out of the way, and a Nubrak is the first thing that's remaining left over. Considering the focus on tanks, I would be surprised if Once Bitten Thrice Pie doesn't feel somewhat obligated to go for the Nubrak. I do think that Lionspeed is intending to take it, but if they don't care about having a Nubrak in the first rotation, and or they bet on ETC being the pick by Lionspeed, they're going to go for the Anduin. So they're not too worried about whether they get Nubrak or ETC. They might even have another pick in mind. So we're going to get Roll on the Anduin. And Big Wiz on the Nubrak. Let's see what the follow-up pickup to that is. Quite common to go for tank healer here, but it looks like we're wanting our wave clear. Gul'dan is going to be the pickup here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. And like I said, ETC is the most likely one that was going to be picked up after that. So I'm not surprised that that's what we're going to be seeing here today. And Raynor, just looking for that solid backline damage to start us off. So curious to see So he's been picked often, but not a super high win rate. A little bit on the low side. Jaina, however, is going to get banned out. Let's take a look at that. %5 win rate in Division A. Quite popular, but low win rate. It's still somewhat considered a threat. Curious about the Stukov. Again, a lot of these semi-popular but low win rate heroes kind of getting banned out in the last few rotations. Curious about Anubarak. Well, he's been faring this season. Again, a lot of these heroes are actually sitting at a pretty low win rate. We're going to see Blaze picked up. And he's not won anything. He's only been picked once, I think. Blaze Hanzo is the choice. I see ETC on the front line with a Leoric and Kael'thas. Sorry. Let's see what balances out the rest of the pretty standard draft, I think. KT Rayner, backline. You've got your wave clear. You got your kill pressure on the front line. Overall, pretty standard drafts into each of them. Both kind of doing more or less the same thing. It's really just going to come down to skill and matchups and a bit of the ult synergies between all of the heroes here. Looking at it from that direction, I think when we're looking at matchups, I sort of prefer the Leoric against Blaze. Nubrak's got some pretty good stuff into Kael'thas. ETC is going to be good at preventing dive, but he's sitting on the front line is going to be a little bit risky in some situations. All right, got the overlay done properly. Make sure that this is properly updated. We're going to be getting into game number 1. On the blue side, we have Lionspeed for the second match of the night. Game number 1. Glaucus on the Rhaegar, Masterfish on the Blaze, Big Wiz playing Anubarak, Devo on the Gul'dan, and Starfox 64 playing Hanzo. And on the right-hand side, we have in red Once Bitten, Thrice Pie, Linehouse on the Kael'thas, Crow on the Anduin, Ghost Dunk on the Leoric, Snaginanus on the ETC, and Professor Bobo playing the Raynor. So let's see how the mid lane handshake goes between these two teams. If anyone really kind of commits to it. We're going to see a couple sprays. Vision. Starfox seeing if he can grab the first bit, but he did go Redemption, which I'm actually okay with. I think Redemption is better since the movement speed changes. As you can kind of get in and out a little bit faster. Into range and out, but it is going to be Big Wiz that goes down. Initial engagement from Snaginanus, plus the follow-up CC from Crow and Linehouse, making sure that he goes down, and he just doesn't quite survive through it. So nice little opening handshake goes in favor. Arm wrestle, if you want to call it, is a win for First Blood. For Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. And we're going to see another engagement onto Star Fox 64. He does get a leap over the wall. Snaginanus is taking some damage, but he manages to walk out of it without much of a problem there. And Once Bitten, Thrice Pie a little bit ahead on the rotation, it appears at the moment. Rhaegar making sure that he's up here so he can get that remaining experience, but it does look like he is still ahead in the end. How is everybody in chat today? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for showing up as usual, and it is always appreciated. Please follow if you have not. Subs and cheers are a bonus, but very much appreciated. Help me and my family get along. You see a bit of an engagement here, and it's actually a 3v2, and StarFox64 is actually going to get picked off in the bottom lane. That's another kill going to Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. They're finding all of these engagements, seeing that rotation coming through, and they just kind of made sure that they were positioned appropriately. Now, I don't know if they were giving up a bit of experience in the top lane for that kill. But they're also controlling somewhat the amount of gems on the side of Lionspeed, so there are definitely some advantages to giving up. And it looks like Rhaegar is going to get rooted, stunned, and pressured really hard. This ETC Kael'thas Anduin combination is looking quite deadly. He does manage to squeak away, though. No remaining kills. It didn't get the initial burst damage to get the kill on it. There was no more CC follow-up. Rhaegar just kind of squeaks away. Stays alive. No additional kill there for Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. We'll see the rotations continue. No one's gone for the bruiser camp. We did get the bottom camp capture, but it doesn't look like it really has gotten much more than a couple waves. Blaze still struggling to clear this up. Leo doing a pretty good job, and Gul'dan gets picked off in the top lane. As usual, I am off looking at other things on the map, and when I do, someone dies. So, good pick, whoever that was. Well done. See the damage numbers there for everybody. Nubrak getting pressured super hard there. Living Bomb goes off. He manages to survive using his shield and getting a bit of a heal up from the healing totem there from Rhaegar. And Ghost Dunk still more or less pushing up on this wall. They still haven't gotten any damage into it, but he's really kind of controlling the rotation here from Blaze. But Blaze is going to come up, poke up, make sure that Ghost Dunk can't get in those final 18. As that turn-in would very well have gotten the first Webweaver phase out and about onto the map. But we're going to see another rotation coming in on StarFox64. He gets picked off. The follow-up damage was there. The chain CC was actually done properly. And that's going to be another reset and stack. So he was at 7, now he's at 4. And this is kind of the downside to Redemption. If you can't get it stacked early, you lose some of the major value, and you basically don't have a level 1. And if you're dying a bunch, it's still definitely not going to add up for you. So perhaps maybe not the pick. I don't know. On this map, I think it's like Redemption's nice, but target practice is much easier to stack because of the how close the lanes are together. You can pop into that bottom lane and snipe out the Leoric. And stepping up in enough range to get good poke onto the ETC is a risky endeavor, considering you have so much CC follow-up. So if you get caught in any way, you're going to get poked down. He does manage to get 2 stacks, though, pretty easily. He's just going to try to farm it off of Ghost Dunk here. Ghost Dunk is going to give it to him, it looks like, while pushing up on this. And actually, these are the situations with Hanzo's Redemption you can actually get quite a bit of stacks done. Midland's just going to get cleared up by Gul'dan here. The rotation finally coming in from Big Wiz. They're going to see if they can push them up here. Now, I know Once Bitten Thrice Pie is mostly just going to be looking for the front wall. They do get a bit of a chain CC with an ETC stun plus root from Anduin. And this thing's still pretty healthy, and it's pushing up pretty well onto it. Gul'dan's rotation was slow, and it's a risky kind of endeavor to come through here. And due to that, it's actually going to be, I think, top fort. Now, can Snag and Annis get out of here? I don't know if the pressure being applied is significant enough. And we're getting full Redemption builds here, so ignore all distractions. I guess they figure they have the wave clear that they need, and this does, like, insta-kill minions, and gives him a slight increase to his basic attack range. You know what? Something I should maybe try with my Redemption builds. I know I'm spending a lot of time. Pursuit by Grace, Moral Compass, and Power World Shield is the Anduin build. I'm sure that's going to tilt Woe in chat a little bit, as it's not the way he likes to do things, but Regardless, it is there. Kael'thas gets his shield stacked. 20 globes already. That's good rotations. If you're going to get it in 6 minutes 47 seconds, that's a really good... And look at that follow-up stun. Nice root onto the Hanzo. Resets the redemption stacks yet again. And that's going to be the 5th kill. Plus a fort. So this Tomb of the Spider Queen game is really going in favor of Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. The rotations are on point. The pickoffs are working well. And there's just not a lot of responses that we're seeing here from Lionspeed. They do finally have 10s. So with Dragon Arrow, Cocoon, Ancestral Healing, Horrify, and Bunker are going to be the choices. And on the red side, we've had, for a little while, Mosh Pit, Light Bomb, Phoenix, Hyperion, and Entomb, of course. So second Web Weaver phase is also going to go to Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. So back-to-back turn-ins. Top fort's already down. This early in the game, 8 minutes in, you can't really anticipate getting a top keep unless you have a significant advantage. So they're either going to look for picks or they're just going to pressure up one of the side lanes here to give themselves a little bit more map control. So mid's definitely going to be 4-man cleared out. And the engagement coming in from Snaganan is doing his best to zone them out because obviously this is where their main pressure is. And that's going to allow them to get a quick rotation down here. See if they can get some pressure onto Blaze. Blaze has done a pretty good job actually poking this down. But with four bodies down here, they might pressure up. Although, Gul'dan gets some wonderful stacks, and things are looking a little split for Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. So despite the effect of Webweaver number 1, where they were able to get a couple kills plus the fort, they don't manage to get the bottom fort in this situation. Cocoon does come down, and we really have some issues here. The front line of Lionspeed is super low. Rainer's just going to poke out Big Wiz. He goes down, isn't able to get into the bunker, loses a bunch of gems. And Masterfish had to drop bunker to stay alive, gets the Ancestral Healing that might keep him alive. He does spread the Living Bomb, and Entomb comes down onto Devo. And that's going to be Blaze going down, and perhaps even Gul'dan, although I think he's going to squeak away as the resources were put into that. And so, again, despite the fact that I would say they got zoned off of this bottom very well initially, I do think Lionspeed overextended, and that ended up costing them another 2 kills and the bot fort as well. And, you know, Once Bitten, Thrice Pie, not missing a beat, going to go right for the Bruiser camp up here. And that's going to be a nice steal, using that window. That 13 window, the death timers to really get yourself some more macro advantages. And that's the second camp taken today. And it's on the other side of the map. Once Bitten, Thrice Pie looking to just try to secure enough gems for another turn-in. But they are a ways off of turn-ins. So they're just going to go right for the boss. And I think this is an alright play. They have decent burn, which is going to help them get this to... you know, it can counter out any turn-in, and in fact, it looks like when Lionspeed realizes that they're doing the boss here, doesn't want this pushing during their objective, and they successfully chase them off of it. And I think that was a good disengage from Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. They can't, you know, committing hard to this is, even with 13 tier advantage, is a scary prospect. With Horrify, with Cocoon, with Dragon Arrow, you're just in a nice grouped up area where all of those things get incredibly good value. So just backing off of it, and in essence, they're still able to maintain control over the turn, and they're going to go for the camps over here and down here, and I do think that they're going to be sacrificing turn-in for this. And that's exactly what happens here. And Lionspeed's going to realize that they are split. But are they going to be able to do anything about it? That's the real question here. And it looks like the answer to that question is going to be no. Both camps are going to come out. That's going to help clear this out. Although we do see Lionspeed come down here to clean out the Giants so that it doesn't get any good value against their Web Weavers. But the mid The mid is definitely still going to have to deal with it, and this giant did not die, so it's still going to put some pressure onto the web weavers and not take much for counter damage. But we see the engagement coming down here. Ghost Dunk trying to get a good entomb onto the backline, but and there's a dragon arrow onto Kael'thas. He gets cleansed out with that leap of faith, keeping him alive. So it looked pretty scary actually for Once Bitten Thrice Pie on that engagement. After they dropped kind of their big tools, it wasn't looking so good with the counter engage with the dragon arrow. But nice leap of faith from Crow, keeps Kael'thas alive. And unfortunately the fear was, I would say, a little bit late. And doesn't land in a position where they can knock the weak backliners that were low towards their team. But top fort does go down, so they bought a lot of time. They do still get the top fort, and they're starting to even out the structures. Despite having no kills on the side of Lionspeed, a reasonable turn-in. It wasn't bad. But Once Bitten Thrice Pie has their own turn-in, and they're about to hit 16s, and I do think that if you are Lionspeed, you probably would just want to eat this. As you don't have 16s and you're well away from it. Like, you're still a quarter of a level away from 15, and then an additional whole level that you need to soak to get 16. Being here in the middle of the map, once 16 hits, is still a scary prospect. So we're going to see Lionspeed back up. I don't think they want to stand out here in the middle looking for much for fights. Blaze doing his best to stall this out, because they do need to stall out to 15s. If they can stall out without dying, that's going to be a victory. They're doing a good job. They have the tools to kind of... Blaze and Hanzo can be incredibly frustrating in this situation, because they can just, bounce sonic arrows. We do see a bit of an engagement coming on to Big Wiz, but it is now Masterfish is out of been displaced, but a good self-cleanse makes sure there's no follow-up CC that's going to kill him in that situation. They really need to just hold on to their gems, keep stalling this out. 7 more are going to go in, and there's not much they can do about that, but they're still 20 off from a turn-in. So, and Snake and Annis has 19 of those, 10 on Professor Bobo, 6 on Ghost Dunk. So really, Snake and Annis has to turn in 21, 22 gems that he has, and that's kind of rough when it's on your ETC, who's doing the majority of stopping. But we see an engagement coming in onto Devo. He got himself a little bit out of position. The Ancestral does go through the bunker, very well placed to keep him alive there. Ghost Dunk though drops a great entomb, forcing the the disengagement to be kind of rough. But look how much pressure that the front line is taking from Once Bitten Thrice Pie. They're actually getting hit really hard. Leoric is going to go down. So despite getting the Web Weaver, they do lose a hero. It is Leoric though, it's just trait value. He's going to be up and in lane faster than any other hero in the game when it comes to death timers that don't have a buyback. But even with buybacks, you can argue the 10 or 20 seconds it takes you to get back to position in the lane. Leoric doesn't have to do that travel time. He can just appears. So mid fort is getting pressured down. Top keep is going to go down as there is no damage, but the mid Web Weaver is successfully cleared out. But top keep is down. Like, there's no way that's being saved. Blaze has great wave clear, but it's not that good. So we're going to lose mid fort. Top Web Weaver is going to be done. Bottom Web Weaver is still about half, but I don't think Once Bitten Thrice Pie really cares. I think they consider the top keep a pretty big win. They're going to see if they can pick someone standing out, but it's not going to happen. Let's look at the damage numbers for a little bit here. Gul'dan, as usual, ramping up in long games. Hanzo doing a respectable amount. And Kael'thas is, of course, in the third place there, doing his best. But, of course, effective DPS versus just general DPS is always what we're looking for. So the more effective your DPS can be, the better off it generally is. So XP Soak is really in favor of Blaze. He's been doing a fantastic job of making sure those lanes are effectively soaked. I have to give it to Masterfish. He's doing a wonderful job on the hero. Those bunkers have been extremely well placed. Has really saved a lot of heroes that could have died in a lot of these engagements. Light Bomb going in onto Star Fox 64, but it fails, and now they're overextended a bit here. This is an even fight, but Big Wiz, no one's really in position to dive over and get a good fight. Plus, This team is not the most divey there is. They really kind of want extended poke fights. In fact, I would say Once Bitten Thrice Pie's fights are a little bit more along the lines of being fast. So this mid camp was being pushed up, but it gets cleared pretty well by the Gul'dan damage. Range damage from Gul'dan, Hanzo, and Blaze doing an effective job here. And we're gonna see just kind of a bit of a stalemate phase. We're just slowly going through the paces. Each team poking out at each other, just trying to see what they can get done. Once Bitten Thrice Pie still has control over the mid. 103 gems on the side of Lionspeed that they just can't seem to get turned in at this point. And I think that their window for this is closing rapidly. So we're going to see Once Bitten Thrice Pie yet again go for that top board, or the boss call. And I think they saw everyone in the bot lane and they figured that they have the speed now to probably clear this out. It's going to be a close thing, and Lionspeed do notice this is a fight that they want, though, as 20s are in, but look how low it is. They're going to be able to clear out this boss as long as they keep Masterfish from getting in here. But things are actually a terrible position for Once Bitten Thrice Pie, and this might actually be a boss throw. We do see Hanzo going down, though. Kael'thas getting the kill. Blaze sitting on the point, doing his best to try to hold on to this. Everyone getting super low. Leoric does finally go down, and so does Kael'thas. This fight might actually be going in their favor, but Raynor just sitting here back peppering away, and I don't know which way this is gonna go. Gul'dan Blaze goes down, and it's the last kill on ETC, but Rhaegar finally falls, and Nubrak finally goes down, and what a brawl. That was the craziest boss fight I've seen all season. Gems are gone. All 100 gems completely toasted from Lionspeed. That was a desperate play. If that boss goes through with keep down, level 20s incoming, it was over. So they really had to go all in on that. No amount of gems was going to save them there. And I totally respect the call. Well done. Once Bitten, Thrice Pie looks like they're going to be able to take the first game, although Hanzo will be up in a couple seconds here. But I just don't think he's got the damage to deal with both Raynor, Anduin, and the boss. Especially without his stacks. He's going to drop Dragon Arrow, but Crow's just going to duel him and win. Well done, GG's. That's going to be game number 1. Once Bitten, Thrice Pie getting a win on the board. There are going to be your in-game statistics. Gul'dan, 44,000, 129,000. Kael'thas matching it almost completely with 48,000 in hero damage, 106 on the wave clear. Generally speaking, the wave clear numbers were actually heavily in favor of Lionspeed, but the hero kill numbers were still slightly in favor. Or quite a bit. The kills were definitely in favor of on Once Bitten Thrice Pie, and they just did a better job overall in getting those engagements, finding the kills, picking them off. Hanzo dying 5 times, especially as a redemption, is really rough. But I still respect the build. I think it was doing overall pretty well. I think if he could just stayed alive a few more times there, it would have been all right. Interesting. Something that I'm going to look at. I do still think Explosive Arrow on this map is just so good. But that basic attack range is interesting. That's going to be game number 1. I'm going to put us to a quick break while I sort out game number 2 for us. Stay tuned, folks. Alrighty, we're already into game number 2. Lobby set up, everyone is filtering in. Pop up the overview while I get everyone sorted onto the appropriate teams. I think that we've got there. So we are going to be going to Dragonshire. My chat is being super quiet today. So we'll wait to see. I hope someone did clip the that boss fight. It's a graveyard in my chat today. There's nothing happening. No one is speaking. I just don't know what is better, what is more desirable to watch at the moment. I mean, lots of games going on simultaneously right now, so not all that surprising to see everyone in all the different places. And I'm ready to go when everyone else is. We're just waiting the teams to get set up. We are all in lobby and mostly ready to go, so should be a quick start here quite soon. Dragonshire, though, definitely one of my favorite maps to play. I like all of the little bits of strategy, the macro that you can pressure you can apply. The objective is effective but not overpowered. Lots of good rotations. It really rewards players who set up their maps well, like who macro well. D-Shard does a pretty good job, but it's not the only strategy. If you do well on the ganking side of things, if you're getting lots of kills, good rotations, things like that, it's also an effective way to win the map. All right, we're going to be starting in now. Thought we were ready to go, but we got a bit of someone to ask. I think someone else needed to use the restroom. All right, I'm chugging lots of water. My throat is killing me. This probably isn't helping, but whatever. Come on, chat. Come on. 15 people in chat and no one is saying anything. This is just ridiculous. Let's get the hype going. Let's get people talking. Let's go. Come on. All right, the game's about to start, so I want to see some draft discussion in there, chat. Stop being lazy. All right. Get this going. Alrighty then, Dragonshire it is, folks. Just about ready to go. And first pick is going to be on Lionspeed side, as it was Once Bitten Thrice Pie's choice map. So let's see what gets banned out in the first round. Zeratul mostly ignored last game, and now it comes out interesting. And in response, we're going to see Medivh yet again. I'm going to bring up the stats for that. He's only been picked once, it looks like. Maybe more than that, but he does have a 100% win rate. Poor kid. My youngest is sick today as well. Having a rough time of it, more so than even I am, but he is farther along. Medivh has not been picked. He's been banned, a few times, but only in this matchup it seems to actually have come up. Chen, on the other hand, is a bit of a different story. 100% win rate, 11% pick rate, 9% ban rate. Definitely a strong hero in the right hands. Falstad has also been pretty interesting. He's been kind of popping back up in the meta more and more frequently. I don't think he ever really left, but he's definitely, I would say, this season more than last season being a big choice. So ETC was a major factor, I think, in the last game, and so we're gonna see Big Wiz get right onto that hero. And I think ETC, for some reason, has just become this powerhouse in the meta. I'm actually quite interested to see what his current stats are. Yeah, I mean, very high win rate, super popular right now, doing a fantastic job. And we're going to see Maiev Johanna. So Johanna was banned out the last round, so they're not going to allow that to happen yet again. And Maiev, which wasn't, again, just like Zeratul, wasn't really looked at or picked in the last map on a map that I honestly think is a strong one for her. But Dragonshire also is a very strong Maiev map. Lots of camps, lots of rotations, lots of areas to get good pickoffs. And Anna, which was banned out before, is going to be picked up nice and early. And the Kael'thas, you know, Kael'thas, I think, has been climbing up the ladder. I think as ETC gets more popular, Kael'thas gets more popular. Some of these heroes are dependent. Their spot in the meta is somewhat dependent on where certain heroes that they pair well with are in the meta as well. And I think Kael'thas was kind of, you know, a bit of a meme in the you know, bronze, silver, storm, gold storm league, because Kael'thas, Asmodan were always and still are constantly banned. But as we get higher up here, now we got master players here wanted to take those Kael'thases. I think he might now be pretty legitimate. I'm going to bring up the stats for the Haka. And 60% win rate, not super popular, but seems to be effective when picked. And Anduin was a bit of a problem. Those follow-up routes were nasty. And I think Anduin also with Light Bomb on Maiev or Johanna is still just a scary prospect. So we're going to see him removed. And Malfurion is going to be the pickup instead. Malfurion, Twilight Dream is a nice little combo. We're also going to see Orphea. Orphea did get changed in the last patch, but mostly on her Q talents. And I really haven't been seeing a lot of people committing to the Q talent builds. One of my own teammates, Wono, kind of pointed out that Orphea's mana consumption is quite high with that. And it does amplify her wave clear, which I can totally understand might be why it's still not really the highest pick. We're going to see Star Fox back on the Hanzo again. So ETC, Ana, Kael'thas, Imperius, Hanzo versus Maiev, Johanna, Malfurion, Orphea, and whatever Ghost Dunk decides to play. Last picking the off lane is always a nice little treat on this map in particular. Probably one of the reasons why taking this as a map choice is not as scary as a prospect. And we're going to see Leoric again. It was effectively played last game. And he's going to say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So that is your draft, folks, for game number 2. Let us know. The super silent chat, yet again. Is something broken on my side? Because this is just odd to have 16 plus viewers and no one typing anything in chat. Maybe I'm just not seeing things for some reason. So let's get things swapped over. Going ahead and gonna check. Yeah, flat out. It's probably because I said something, isn't it? It's because I've been complaining. So everyone's just like, let's just not chat. Just zero activity in Twitch chat today. But who cares? It's over with. Let's get into the game. We are looking for the equalizer on the blue side. Lionspeed, Big Wiz on the ETC, Glaucus on a Star Fox 64 on the Kael'thas, Devo on the Hanzo, Masterfish. I didn't see that swap come through, and so my my little animation is going to be wrong because I didn't get the change up. My bad. Lionspeed doing their best to troll me here in the opening stages of game number 2. Ghost Dunk on the Leoric, though, on Once Bitten Thrice Pie on the red side. Linehouse on the Orphea. Professor Bobo playing the Maiev. We have Crow on the Malfurion and Snakeananis on the Johanna. See, look, the in-game are chatting more than everyone else. There we go. There we go. There we get some people. Well, welcome back, Faint to Parry, my old teammate. How's it going in chat there, buddy? It's been a long time. Yeah, NGS is going stronger than ever. If you ever get your schedules sorted out, you should get back into it, my friend. We're all missing you. Faint to Parry is a fantastic player who really should just, you know, get back into it. We definitely miss him. But if all you can do is come in and support us through the chat, through watching some matches, through checking out my stream, then that's good enough for me, buddy. Hit the follow button if you haven't yet so far. The more followers I get, the better. If you're feeling extra generous, I currently only have enough sub points for one emoji, which I apparently have to hand draw myself. Which is gonna just be terrible. But if I can get, I need 7 more sub points for my second emoji. So if we can get to that point, that would be fantastic, folks. But do what you can. If you can't, following and just watching and chatting in the stream is more than enough. Yeah, I'm full on casting. It is definitely one thing I'm doing a ton of. So if you're ever curious to watch NGS matches, I'm going to be casting every game. And I'm not really casting now, though, because I keep talking about the chat and everyone else. So let's get into the game. Nothing else has majorly happened, though. We haven't seen any major pickoffs. We see camps being picked up on both sides of the map here. And that's going to be a double channel, though, from Lionspeed. Masterfish put the pressure here on Ghost Dunk, making it a little bit difficult for him to actually secure that top. And the bottom is being well controlled here. Kael'thas clearing up the mid lane, but no one can really get the channel. And honestly, early Dragon Knights do nothing. So I think getting an advantage here in the bot lane, like clearing up those giants from Once Bitten Thrice Pie, was actually good strategy by Lionspeed. And they're going to see if they can push these up a little bit closer. And this is the thing about Orphea, is she does struggle. Let me get the talents up here, and as you can see, the standard build. Big Wiz taking a lot of pressure, though. Glaucus actually is out of position. I think he forgot to take the D off, and he gets completely destroyed there. Big Wiz does manage to escape, though, so it's only 1 kill, but First Blood is going to Once Bitten Thrice Pie, and Star Fox 64 being pressured again. Nice! Gravity lapse to keep himself from pretty much getting picked off there, because Orphea lands that Q and gets another auto or 2 in. That's a dangerous spot for Kael'thas to be in. And so we see the double channel coming in. So despite the kill, despite the slight experience lead, Redemption is now fully stacked. And this is the thing, Hanzo is at less risk on the front line. With ETC for disengage and the fact that Johanna without Blessed Shield can't rip on him, he can actually step up and get a lot of value out of here. So going again for that Redemption style build on a completely different player, which is hilarious to me, but also, again, I think this build is actually quite good. And on this map, where Explosive Arrow is maybe a little bit less required, not bad. Good double stun, nice follow-up roots, and Linehouse is going to blow up, and that's going to be first kill, and maybe a second one here for Lionspeed. They're finally starting to get control of this map. Ghost Dunk does manage to get the trade, and he should be able to hold this for a little while. I think Maev's going to make the rotation to the top end of the map, though, to see if he can get a pick off onto Imperius. But the thing is here, Maev does not pressure on ganks quite the same way. That's going to be Anna into the Dragon Knight. So, well rotated, the ETC, making sure that no 2v1 shenanigans happening. And she's still good on ganks. I don't know what I'm talking about. Just Imperius is tough to kill with that setup. So we're going to see the first Dragonite of the game go to Lionspeed. They're going to get a lot of pressure on Professor Bobo, and I think he's going to go down here. That's another kill. 3 kills to 1 now. Actually, 3 to 0 basically in the last rotations. They had the first initial kill from Once Bitten, Thrice Pie in the bot lane, and since then it's been 3 full kills going to Lionspeed. And I think this is really good value for the first Dragonite. It is 5 minutes in, so it's a little bit better than some of the other ones. Okay. He's so hard. Oh no, Star Fox 64 kind of getting engaged here by the Leoric. The rotation was a little bit faster, and he might not be able to get out of this, but Ghost Dunk takes a bit of damage, walks out. And now it's Linehouse getting a return killed on, and he actually goes down. And Ghost Dunk might actually drop here as well. He doesn't manage to heal up, and that's going to be 2 more kills going to Lionspeed. So a bit of a different turnaround here. Lionspeed seeming quite strong on this map. This composition of theirs is doing them lots of favors. They 5-man rotate to this camp. They do have 10, so they want to try to press that advantage as much as possible. They still don't have like the best siege in the world, but it's not bad. Wave clear is decent. Kel'Thas siege is good. If Hanzo can step up, I think this auto attack build is probably one of the best sieges though that you can probably get. Too bad you don't get armor reduction on structures. That would be hilarious. Double root though. We see a dragon arrow coming out for the disengage. Glaucus dropping below 200 health. But a good stage dive helps disengage this out. So stage dive instead. And I think that's a curious but good ultimate. Especially what it allows you to do is kind of have that ETC, especially with Echo Paddle in the mid lane. And so you can get all your siege damage into the bot, but Big Wiz taking a lot of pressure, but so is Snagananas. I'm not really sure who's going to go down first. It looks like it's going to be Snagananas, but Big Wiz does also drop. A nice silence, great entomb. I think Star Fox is in trouble, but he gets a triple gravity lapse before he goes down. Flank from Masterfish, though, might actually be enough to get double kill. What a play by Masterfish. He just comes in and just absolutely destroys. Man, was that a good flank. Masterfish, that play, if there's any play that needs to be clipped from game number 2, I think that flank there was just fantastic. It looked like it was Once Bitten, Thrice Pie with the advantage there, but it was not. In the end, that flank getting 4 kills to 2 overall really just was absolute in favor of Lionspeed. Good engagement coming in from Professor Bobo, though. Wiz is getting low. Leoric puts a lot of pressure onto ETC, and I think that's one of the things that we're liking about this composition here, is he does pressure out Big Wiz pretty well, but he can back no problem, and he has his stage dive global to get back in. Glaucus doing his best to get the channel in. Stage dive does come on onto Crow, and now that's a pretty scary situation to be in. He does get gravity lapse, and I just don't know if he's going to get out of there. Nice auto attacks from Big Wiz, securing the kill. And that's going to be another death. 12 kills, and Leoric gets killed in the top lane by Imperius. I think we're underestimating just how strong this 1v1 is. Imperius is holding this top lane all game just fantastically. Ghost Dunk just doing his best to try to deal with it, but it's just not enough. And this game is, with all of these kills, is definitely slowly going in favor of Lionspeed. They do manage to get... This bottom fort's going to go down. Some full health Dragonite. Well, 70% health on the Dragonite. There's decent poke, but not really great burn on the Dragonite. And that's going to be easy for it. Good kick on Crow is going to make sure that everyone here takes permanent damage. But look how much damage Professor Bobo's doing on the back end. Star Fox getting away, but on the other side, Kel'Thas manages to get 2 kills. Maybe a third here. No, Bobo's up enough, and he does dodge it. He stalls it out long enough that it doesn't get the kill. But it zones him out really well. Bottom fort goes down. So what looked like a really good engage, Bobo doing his best to just pressure out that backline, and he did a really good job of it. But the damage was already done. The bombs get spread, and that's a double kill. Sorry guys, I'm just feeling a little bit out of it. Give me a minute. Not a whole lot happening at the moment. Everyone's just kind of chilling out. Ghost Dunk, there's a lot of pressure here in the top lane from this the camps. In fact, bottom lane also has quite a bit of pressure from a double camp steal by Lionspeed. Midfort's going to go down. With all that lane pressure, they can't really apply enough here to contest. ETC gets a huge engagement onto Professor Bobo, and he's going to go down. But we do see a nice Eternal Feast coming out. Gets the trade out onto Kael'thas. Stage dive saves Big Wiz, though. That was a pretty good play. Nice flank coming in. But the spear gets him out of the entomb. Just not enough damage applied. And see, this is why I like Q build in some of those situations, especially when you get to 16. Just the amount of Q resets you can get when you have that kind of CC can actually kill an Imperious. Whereas without every bit of ability from Orphea up, you're not going to get the kill. Although he does put in a lot of pressure here, this rotation might actually be successful. Masterfish getting super low, but again, that kill just isn't secured. And we are going to see another Dragonite for Lionspeed. So despite a quick rotation to the top lane to see if they could secure a kill with uneven numbers, doesn't quite happen. 16 secure the Dragonite. Now we're going to see things start to get a little bit dire here for Once Bitten Thrice Pie, as Dragonite's going to be threatening bottom. We see an engagement coming out from Bobo, but he just gets booted. Wasn't Bobo, sorry, that was Johanna snagging at us. And the engagement doesn't quite come through. Cage is about up, though, so I think we're going to see the flank engage. Bobo's trying to get into position. He's also positioning himself so he doesn't get kicked over a wall. This keep is going to go down. And it looks like they're going to see if they can engage in off the retreat. Nice boot again. Both frontliners are in the mid lane. And with both of them in the mid lane and no 16s, the engagement isn't coming down. I think that's the right call. Sacrifice the keep, allow them to get it. Get your 16 so that you can take an even fight. But that is going to sacrifice map control to Lionspeed. They're going to be able to stack these two camps now. It looks like they should be able to, but it's still scary to fight into that choke from both sides. Kael'thas Bombs gets lots of advantages. So does Entomb, Orphea with Eternal Feast, and Maya. So just going to take the safe bet. This camp's going to get cleared up. So these are just going to be camps that push up. They're not going to be able to do anything here. I think that's a bit of a misplay. Lionspeed had kind of all the space in the world to get a nice double and or even triple camp set up in the bot lane. And you get 3 camps in the bot lane, you can set up for court. Almost as deadly as a Dragonite. And the added bonus, you don't have to put one of your heroes into the Dragonite. That's the one thing about Dragonites, is that they do well in the siege damage, and they got okay team fight, but they also don't allow you to use all of your abilities and ultimates, and that can sometimes be a bit of a problem. You do see a nice engagement coming onto Linehouse. Does take a lot of damage, and the ETC doing his best to try to get back there. Leoric doing a really good job in zoning. Dragon Arrow does drop onto both frontliners, and the pressure is being applied onto Bobo here with the Eye of Horus, with the damage coming out from ETC. And if Eternal Feast gets a pretty long channel, but it just doesn't do enough to chunk out, and really, Once Bitten Thrice Pie was the big losers there when it comes to the health bars. So most of them have to actually back out. And that's going to sacrifice map control to Lionspeed yet again. Big Wiz doing his best to just zone this out. Kalthos is going to try to snipe this, but it's kind of a scary situation. Really good disengagement, though, by Big Wiz. He saved that W to make sure that they could not get in to interrupt. And now things are looking very scary for Once Bitten Thrice Pie on map number 2, Dragonshire. I don't think that they're going to commit to the core here, as everyone is up, even Talontiers. 20s are in view. So kind of just unfortunate timing. You almost want to stall out objectives in this situation. I know this fast, quick grab is kind of what everyone wants to do. But if you had 20s and the Dragon Knight, you can probably go for core. But they're going to go for mid keep. 2 keeps down is still going to put them nicely ahead in macro. And with no forts down on the other side, there's going to be no counter siege coming out. Here's the big engagement. Dragon Arrow coming out onto Linehouse. He's going to go down, and with kills here, though, this could be the end of the game. Bobo doing his best to just apply as much damage to the Dragonite as possible. Snagananus is now isolated into the back. They're putting a lot of pressure onto him. I don't know why this keeps zapping back. Sorry about the camera work, guys. And that's going to be game. Yeah, I think with those kills, Kalthos is up. He is getting pressured by the Leoric. Nice pull in by Bobo. They're going to do their best to see if they can burn him down, but he gets a nice big heal from Ana. And just with this much from Ana and the rest of the team, it's going to be a really tough time for them to be able to stall this out, and it's not going to happen. So that's going to be game number 2, going to Lionspeed, and we have a match here, folks. 1-1. We will be going to game number 3. Just fantastic for everyone watching. Terrible for my throat. And that's going to be it. Here is your end of game statistics. Hanzo game 1 had a rough time. Hanzo game 2 did not. And we can see, again, very good macro. I mean, when you're looking at these kill number, this amount, it's just a fantastic job. And Lionspeed's doing a really good job of making sure that all of the forts and everything else goes down really, really well. So color me impressed, folks. I've been having a wonderful time here. Let's pop up the talent so everyone can take a look to see what was taken. No level 20 for Ana. Didn't need it. Wasn't concerned. Who needs your level 20 upgrade? No big deal. Alrighty, folks. I'm going to put us to a break here. And we will be right back. Welcome back, folks. We're ready for game number 3. I actually need to go for a bathroom break, so I'm actually going to pop this onto the overview screen so you guys can see. The match, where we're going and how everything has gone so far, and I will be right back. Just bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, I'm back, guys. Wrong screen. My bad. Okay, we're getting ready for game number 3. And we'll be on our way here in just a second. I think everyone is set up appropriately to the right sides. I think I was misinformed then. Because first pick is on team 1. Alright guys, I'm sweating up a storm. My throat's killing me. And my little one is having a bit of a rough time. So, thank you for bearing with me for the few minutes I needed to kind of sort everything out so I can get this cast done and maybe get to bed sometime soon here, although I have a scrim I need to get to as well, so. All in good fun. Just waiting for the R's from Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. And we'll be ready to go. I mean, this has been one hell of a series. Game number 1 was pretty solidly in favor of Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. They definitely had a lot of the advantages in that game. But game 2 has definitely been... It was definitely a turnaround there. And Lionspeed really setting the pace. So we're starting now. 3, 2, 1. Start game. Alrighty. Here we go, folks. Ready for game number 3. Hype, hype, hype. Thank you, Josh Sill. You're a beast. I love you, man. Thank you for the sub. You're a monster. And you're helping me out. Especially on a day where I just feel complete garbage, I appreciate it even more. So Anduin is definitely a stat that I have not popped up yet, I don't think, so let's do that. Not bad. And I really do think that he is a major threat in any division right now with anyone that really understands how to play the hero. Zeratul being banned again. I brought the ticker up for that one last time, so we don't really need to do it again. Ugh, I'm just sweating up a storm. So ETC being removed, I'm not surprised here. ETC has been an absolute powerhouse in these 2 matchups. I'm pretty sure he is 2 for 2. And going to be continuing on here. So since ETC is out of the way, Anubrak is nice and free. Current take meta is still very much stun tanks and Johanna being the major ones. Muradin kind of coming in there somewhere. Diablo 2 as well, but both have kind of really dropped down. Kel'Thas being picked up again. And I gotta watch out to see if we get another swap. As Devo is currently on it, but we'll see. Now, Anna wasn't banned or picked away, but we're going to see the commitment onto the Stukov for that follow-up silence. Strong as that can definitely be. Sylvanas is going to be banned. Hasn't really been contested or picked much in this matchup. But I think given the effect that it has on the turrets, which are already a pretty fundamental part of this map, actually, let's take a look at that. What is Sylvanas doing in this division so far? Wow, okay. It probably should be more contested than it is, given the power that this hero is apparently having in this in the current A division. Rhaegar is actually doing very well as well, actually. Blaze Chromie. I like it. Chromie has been largely ignored in a lot of divisions. And I think on certain maps like this one, she actually does quite a bit. She's got enough macro to deal with anything. And but on top of that, she has really good poking into the objective. We're going to see Junkrat and Imperius picked up. Masterfish was fantastic on the Imperius. Looks like they're trolling me here. I'm going to put... I feel like they're just going to jump around here. Just to mess with me. Because, you know, that's what I need right now. To be messed with. Again, thanks a lot, Josh Sill, for the Twitch Prime. I might actually frequent your channel. I've been thinking about getting into Magic the Gathering. Okay, stop it. Stop. Okay, so it is going to be Devo on the Junkrat. You're not trolling the enemy team. You're trolling me. Okay, and I think I've got everyone set up appropriately. Ana was last picked, which is definitely not something you see very often. But we're finally going to be getting into the next game here. Everything appropriately updated. And here we go, game number 3, folks. I'm going to start on the blue side. Let's get things up. I've got it properly now, despite all the attempted trolling here from Lionspeed, trying to make my job harder. Masterfish back on the Imperius did a fantastic job on the hero before, and now just have had a really good game. Looking forward to it. We have Big Wiz on the Nubrak, StarFox64 back again on the Kael'thas, Devo playing the Junkrat, and Glaucus on the Stukov. And on the opposite side, we have Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. Both teams looking for the victory here in game number 3. Snake and Anna's on the Johanna, Professor Bobo on the Hanzo, Crow on the Ana, Ghost Dunk playing Blaze, and Linehouse on the Chromie. As we can see here, just the opening handshake. A bit of poke damage, a bit of stacking from Chromie. Glaucus just getting some safe soak. Trying to make sure he doesn't get picked off in the rotation. This team is a little bit slower to it. Big Wiz finds the time traps. It's going to try to pop it. But Chromie will just have another one in a short period of time. So both teams really went for a similar strategy, although I would say that Lionspeed more hard committed to the idea of we're just going to sit at range and poke, look for follow-up stuns with Kael'thas. They do have a pretty aggressive front line. Oh my god, get off of there. Snaggananas is doing his best to try to interrupt any type of rotations through the mid lane. Or between mid and top. Blaze versus Imperius is an interesting matchup because I think Blaze, with his slows, can somewhat control the Imperius, and he does out wave clear him. So I think a bit of a better matchup than, say, Leoric but honestly, I think it was the map is really makes the big difference. So we can see here, he's going for the engagement on Blaze. Ghost Dunk goes for the stun, drops his trait so that he can heal up. They are going to trade a little bit, and Masterfish getting a little bit more out of that. But Anubrak, seeing if he can maybe catch Ghost Dunk out, is going to do the dive, but Masterfish was not ready to follow up there. But with the Anubrak in the bot lane, I'm going to see a bit of poke damage coming in from Chromie here onto Star Fox 64 and Devo. Snaggananas was up under the tower, taking a bit of tower shots. Also, that extends out a little bit farther with the dive coming in from Big Wiz. From behind is Anubrak. Wasn't going to leave this team for that long. Nice stun by Ghost Dunk, just to make sure that it doesn't get locked down. The stun does come out kind of in response, but no follow-up available. And so we're going to see the first bit of channel actually coming out for Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. Both teams trying to burn their way up to level 7 quick as possible. Keladorn, my man, making another appearance here. The gift sub giver, the Santa Claus of this channel. Welcome back, my friend. I realized that I have to hand draw my own Ziltoid as the actual picture that I wanted to make as the emote was is copywritten, so I can't actually use it. So I will have those emotes, but we do see quite a bit of pressure coming up from Lionspeed. They do get the kill onto Snaggananas, and that is going to be dead Johanna. Level 7's picked up as well, pretty much right off the back of that kill. But 98% was channeled. So Johanna's going to be back up in time for another re-engagement. And the turrets were burnt. On both sides or just one? In fact, I don't know if I remember. Okay, so only one turret is down. And that means the re-engagement here is actually going to be quite good from Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. Zanganan is trying to get in there, taking a lot of pressure. He's already burned Iron Skins. The follow-up is going to be there. The time trap saves him from the Kael'thas damage. Blaze was not in a position. We do have 93% channeled. They have to get onto the shrine here, onto the objective here. We see the engagement coming back out from Masterfish, but a nice two-man stun. But is it enough to keep Johanna alive? And she goes down. And I think this objective, despite some of the advantage, although Big Wiz is getting super low, the poke damage from Chromie being really strong. Same thing with Hanzo. And I don't know if he's going to be healed up enough. The thing about Stukov is he doesn't really have the great, but I don't know. The channel might come through. The percentage was almost there, and Blaze goes down. They managed to survive through all of the pressure. And that's going to be Lionspeed taking objective number 1. It's going to do a little bit of poke damage onto the front wall. They actually get both towers, which is a pretty good exchange, actually. They're going to see if they can get the other 2 towers. If they get 2 front walls and a well here, that would be amazing. But they're just going to get 1 tower, 1 front wall, 1 upper tower, almost the 2nd tower, and quite a bit of pressure onto the well itself. So through rotations, they can eventually get there. In fact, Junkrat can actually bounce up to the top lane anytime it's not being maintained well and actually pick off that thing. They're just going to drop out of the Protector. My opinion on the Protector these days is that it's the robot just doesn't do a whole lot in the early game. But despite that, they got quite a bit of pressure out of it. And it does stack up over time. Chromie does finish her quest. She is completed on the Q stacks. Now we're going to see quite a bit more burst damage coming in. We just see Riptire coming out, trying to hit the Chromie. Chromie goes low. Masterfish just barely missing with the thing. And we're kind of into the mid game. Still 3 kills to nothing. One above the other. 1 level lead. And just kind of trading out items. We do see a slight item advantage for Lionspeed. And a bit of a mid-lane engagement. Nice Dragon Arrow, though, coming out from Professor Bobo. Might be enough to actually put the pressure onto Junkrat here, but the follow-up just wasn't quite there. Although Big Wiz is still in very big trouble here. But they do disengage. Riptire is going to come out, and that might actually finish off some kills. Linehouse does drop his timeout. So he manages to survive. Good bunker, too, as well, just to make sure no one dies there. Decent exchange from both teams there. Dragon Arrow hit 4 members, but the follow-up just wasn't quite there, and I think that's a bit of the downside of Chromie. Unfortunately, the nature of how she is now, picking off backliners is just not really a thing. And she just couldn't quite land all the damage where it needed to be to get any good follow-up kills there, so... We'll have to see if that changes a little bit further into the game here. 13s are going to be right around the corner here for Lionspeed. And I'm going to say Keladorn is a legend, gifting another tier 1 sub. You're a monster, my friend. Thank you so much. And that's another pick off on Blaze. Keladorn here, always... As usual, when he shows up on my channel, gets me nice and distracted from what's going on in the game with all of his subs. But you know what? It's a welcome distraction. Anyways, Masterfish gets a nice engagement onto Johanna here. She has to drop Iron Skin to not take the follow-up damage. Anna hit the cocoon. Silence coming down onto Johanna, but she does manage to get away. And Star Fox 64 taking a lot of damage in the background, but Crow is super low, but he does manage to squeak away. The stunts from Manubrak does not land on anyone further, and no one goes down in this exchange. 3 ultimates used. 13's right around the corner for Once Bitten, Thrice Pie, so this is one of their best opportunities to maybe get back into this game here. 13's hit. All of the talents coming through. We'll see if they can make something happen here. Bunker still available. Eye of Horus is up, but it is actually Johanna that's going to get collapsed upon. Just the damage that Masterfish is doing on this Imperius is just incredible. It's only 20,000, but he's almost the highest. He's competing with the highest spot with Junkrat on his team, and that's effective damage. Chromie's at 30,000, but as I was saying before, Chromie isn't getting those shots onto anyone significantly background, although it was very close. He did almost pick off the Kael'thas on the backline there, and that's going to be second protector going to Lionspeed. So Anubrak and Stukov in the protector, so that they can have maximum siege damage. Healing items still available, so that they can actually kind of full push on this, and that's going to be the choice. They're going to see if they can siege down Top Keep. Now, Top Keep sieges are a risky endeavor, and generally just gets the protector burned down. But given their positioning and the style of composition that we have from Once Bitten, Thrice Pie, they're only going to lose protector health. There's no flanking maneuvers that are going to come into place here. Junkrat bouncing himself right under the fort, but luckily there's a protector there to eat the shots, so that's going to be mid fort also going down. So I would say pretty effective number 2 protector, getting 2 full forts that were nicely propped by the first protector. 16's right around the corner for Lionspeed, and they are definitely in ahead here. Thank you for the 69 biddies there, Keladorn. The man, the myth, the legend. Continuing to make my streaming viable, my casting great, and making it worth it to come here for. But a nice pick off on a Nubrak, actually coming out from Hanzo, and basically one spit and thrice pie there, and that might be the first little sign of life we start to see. They get a kill on the board. Can they get anything more out of it? We do see Blaze, Ghost Dunk, doing his best to see if he can just find that stun. Really good gravity lapse from Kael'thas. Keeps that from landing anywhere. 16 still not available, but that was a good pickoff. Nubrak getting a bit aggressive, seeing if he could steal that camp from them, but instead finds himself dead. Top lane just getting cleared out, as the catapult pressure will mount if they don't deal with it. And when you have a top fort down, these camps become a bigger threat, especially during objectives, and we can see that they're not actually wanting to take this, as they really want to be able to pressure that out. We're going to see Once Bitten Thrice Pie start their own camp. 16s are available. Snaganan is just trying to ward, make sure that there's no easy engagements. Hello, Valcomer. Welcome back to the stream. Yes, CCS supporting the channel. You're definitely one of my favorite teams. This season, anyways.
I'm starting up an access terminal.
And despite structures, despite scaling, definitely still favoring Lionspeed by a level, a 2% advantage. I think we're looking at an almost even fight now, actually coming into place, and we're going to see Once Bitten Thrice Pie doing their best to get position. But here, look at this play by Lionspeed. They clear out the top lane because Once Bitten Thrice Pie went and got it early, trying to push out that lane, saving that camp this whole time that they got a long time ago. Just so that this can pressure out top keep, especially with a catapult in lane, means that Once Bitten Thrice Pie can't stall over this super long. And the longer that that is in lane, the more likely this top keep's going to go down. We see the turret dropping. Sanguinanus having to drop the Iron Skin. Crow was wrapped, but a nice Dragonair onto Glaucus might actually put things into a bit of a better position for Once Bitten Thrice Pie. Ghost Duck needing to drop Bunker as he was taking a lot of pressure. The front line is just getting chewed apart here. But they do get the kill on a Nubrak, and that is actually going to turn things around here. We see... Oh no, Hanzo goes down to the Pyroblast. Snaganan is also 75 health. He's going to go down. And despite getting the kill on the Nubrak, it's a 3-for-1 trade. And this is already pressing in onto this keep. They can't contest this any further. Death timers are super long. I'd like to see Linehouse pop up to the top lane and try to clear this out so they don't lose a keep. Because even if they lose this objective, that doesn't guarantee bot keep. This guarantees bot keep if it's not cleared. And Crow coming up here to clear this is not exactly my favorite choice. But he is going to distract the... at least going to distract this long enough for the wave to push up. And that's pretty good there. And seeing where everyone is kind of placed on the map, Lionspeed is going to do the appropriate thing. Have one on the point, And they're just going to clear this out, because if they get this fort out of the way and maybe even push up onto this wall, the chances for them to taking this keep is actually much higher. Get kills off of that, and their chances for actually taking this game is quite higher.
Blue team has taken control of our
Hello, everybody. Citral. Lunchbox. Apparently even Ogle's in here. And of course there's TMT love. You guys are still my choice to win. Or be at least the biggest contender to CCS this season. I don't want to alienate my good fans. I love everybody here. Thanks for showing up. Just being in the chat. And that is a quick keep from Lionspeed. Things looking with 20s. This is definitely a possible threatened core and a good dive onto Linehouse, but he does get a time trap. But Ghost Dunk having to eat a ton of damage, and he goes down from the bombs, the cocoon onto Johanna, and I think with that kill onto Ghost Dunk, things are looking a little bit scary here. They might do a full commitment, although it's still a kind of a scary prospect to actually push in on this. The shield is down though. They do have one kill, so it is 5v4. Pyroblast coming out onto Snagenan as he's going to trait through it. Kills still could come out here, but just the amount of how fast this thing is going down, especially with the catapult on the core, is going to be the end of the game. Lionspeed brings it back. Reverse sweep. I'm loving the chat, guys. That's going to be game number 3. Lionspeed's going to take the victory here. There are your statistics. So, despite doing a pretty good job on the damage, not dying, not feeding anything, it's the game was still just heavily in favor of Lionspeed in kills and pressure. That's the thing. High damage numbers does not guarantee victory, and we see that here for sure. So well done. And Nubrak's the only one that died on the side of Lionspeed, and I think that's exactly what you want to happen. If you're going to have anyone die, this is going to be the hero that needs to go down. So, very well done. Pop up the talents. And in the meantime, I'll see if I can get a quick interview. From one of the boys from Lionspeed. Oh, that is definitely the wrong one. Let's get this fixed up. There we go. That's the right one. And let's see what lobby we can get into. Lobby 1.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going great.
Well,
Just won 2 matches in a row.
yeah, you did. The second one though wasn't a domination, so a bit of a tighter match there, at least in game number 1. So overall, how are you guys feeling about that matchup into Once Bitten, Thrice Pie. Were you expecting them to be a bit of a harder matchup than the first match of today?
Absolutely. We knew they scouted us, so we tried to actually use that to our advantage. Our scouting report wasn't quite as good for that first game as theirs, but I think we pulled it off in the next two.
Yeah, I mean, the control definitely in game number one overall just seemed to be on their side. But the game number two definitely turned it around, you guys. And I think one of the big ones was Imperious. I'm actually quite curious on your guys' opinion on that hero. Masterfish played it very well. And, it really pressured out the top lane. Lyric never won the shrine up there. And that massive flank actually on those 2 or 3 heroes when you were getting pressured pretty hard on Kael'thas there, just kind of came in and closed out 4 for 2. And I think that was one of the big turning points of the game.
We think Imperius is pretty weak, but Masterfish just has huge balls on that hero. And he really brings the aggression. Same thing with Fox's Kael'thas, just big ball plays all day.
Yeah, and I mean, and you guys felt confident enough to take it in game number 2 too as well. So it obviously can't be that weak.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, considering you took it in game number 3, it can't be that weak of a pick.
Oh no, yeah. Like I said, Masterfish just always excels on that hero. It's not really something part of the meta, don't take it to your Storm League games. But Fish plays it really well.
Yeah, and I think even in game number 3, again, in fact, like game number 2 and 3, it was doing a pretty good job of pressuring the Johanna. So she had a hard time stepping up in a lot of the situations and had to burn that iron skin quite often, nice and early. And I think I
gotta give it up to Snags. His ETC absolutely dominated us the first game.
Yeah,
and we were like, we're never going to do that again. And we felt that Joe is exploitable. So
yeah, ETC definitely seemed to be a big theme in your guys' matchup. It won both games it was allowed in and was banned out in the third one. And I take it your guys' opinion on that hero is top meta.
Oh yeah, it's a tank meta. You got to choke tank and you got to pick tank, and that's how it goes.
It's kind of surprising how far he's kind of launched himself up the meta, despite not having really any serious changes as of recently, outside of, say, 1 talent or 2 talent changes. I couldn't remember on the last balance batch, but he seems to have been performing well.
Back in the meta because I've always played him. I never stopped playing him. I've always thought the Q is like an ultimate level ability, that AoE stun and engage, and his kit's loaded. It's always been loaded.
For sure. Game number 3, the Chromie came out, and it actually kind of somewhat matched out a bit to what you guys were doing with the Junkrat. Were you concerned about that pick at all, or was it really just kind of another day at the office situation?
Oh, Devo has huge balls on Junkrat and just makes insane aggressive plays. He's so good. He's so good on that hero. And again, that's not a hero that we only play that because Devo's so good at it. It's kind of the same thing with the Imperius. I
personally think Junkrat, especially on certain maps, can be an absolute monster. And on that map in particular, not hard to stack up your Qs. He can cover any of the lanes that you need to for the most part. And he can get a lot of free damage in. And Riptires can be pretty nasty because it gets good flanking positions.
His poke is insane on Volskaya and his control around those points. And, it's hard to engage when you're just getting hit by a grenade every couple of steps when you're trying to get it on that point.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on a really good. I had high hopes for you guys' team this season, anyways, considering how things juggled out, who went to heroic, who stayed in it, and kind of how things worked out. I know you guys lost Patches and a few other things and a few other power players that I would.
Patches is a one-trick Vala.
There you go. So
he's easy to ban, but it is big balls on that Vala.
Yeah, for sure. I always kind of consider it a pretty strong pickup. With kind of the restructuring of the roster, I think you guys came out pretty strong today and kind of making a big statement in Div A, saying, we're still going to be big contenders, and picking up 2 victories is a really big statement. So looking forward, how are you guys feeling for the rest of the season? You know, who you looking out for the most?
I don't even know the other teams, to be honest. I don't even know their names, but you know, we're hyper casual but super competitive, and that's just kind of how we roll. We like to have a lot of fun and make a lot of jokes and not take it seriously.
Alrighty then, before we leave out here today, any shout outs before we go?
Shout outs to Lionspeed, man. We've been doing this a long time. And we're back for another season. Hopefully we don't choke it out like we usually do. But we're here to play some games.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think you guys have a great shot this season, and I look forward to seeing some really good games from you. So keep it up.
Appreciate it.
No problem. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty, folks, that's going to be it for me tonight. I finally get to take a bit of a break. My throat is absolutely murdering me here. So without further ado, I'm going to be heading on out. But thank you so much for the support in the stream. I love all the biddies that I got from everyone. The couple of subs I managed to pick up to this stream. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It helps me and my family out here. It really just, keeps me going, and I appreciate it. But if you can't go that far, follows or more than enough. Just keeping the views up, keeping the interest high. I appreciate everything and that this community brings and how active everyone is in it. Keep it up, guys. Thank you so much. Anyways, I don't know if there's anyone for me to host you to. I'm going to take a quick look. Yeah, it looks like I'm the last one tonight, so I don't think I'm going to be hosting. So that's going to be it for the stream. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.